Hello students, welcome to this short video or short session on fill in the blanks. So this is basically for SSC CGLE students from our that is Times side. So as you know, in the verbal part of SSC CGLE, fill in the blanks plays an important role. You can have sentences with a single blank, in some cases two blanks, etc. So today we're going to be taking a look at some single blank fill in the blank questions. And if we see broadly, apart from vocabulary, some of these questions would also be solved using information that you have got from your grammar sessions. So basically both grammar as well as vocabulary inputs should be covered as a part of this particular short session. So before we start, before we go ahead, just a short point from our side. The questions that we're going to be using in this presentation are actual questions that have come in the recent SSC CGLE exams. So recent exams, the questions that have been seen in the recent SSC CGLE exam, those are the ones that we are using out here. And of course, the copyright of these questions therefore belongs to the body that conducts the SSC CGLE exam. All right, so as these are actual questions, solving them will also give you an idea of what kind of questions to expect. So before I start, just a point. When we display the question, I would be continuously explaining how to solve it, but I would request you to pause the video for a minute, try solving the question, and then you can play it again and see whether you were right or wrong. All right. So the moment I display a question, pause the video, try solving the question, then play and see whether you got it right or you got it wrong. Let's start, guys. So in the following question, the sentence is given with a blank to be filled in with an appropriate word. Select the correct alternative out of the four indicated by selecting the appropriate option. So a sentence is given, single blank, four options. You have to say which option is correct. I sensed the dash of the argument. Okay. Now, beautiful as a word, as you know, is an adjective. All right. So, for example, she's a beautiful girl, something like. This is the beautiful argument. Beautifully is its adverb form, something like she argued beautifully, or the painter painted the painting beautifully. Beauty is its noun form. So, for example, she's a real beauty, or this car is a real beauty, so on and so forth. And beautification is its verb. For example, this place needs a bit of beautification as it has gone down with years of neglect. So as we can think, when we check this question out here, we realize that I need a noun over here. So if we see in the question, I have the same form of the word beauty. So beauty is the noun, beautiful, the adjective, beautifully, the adverb, beautification is verb. So the answer would be option number 3, beauty. I sense the beauty of the argument, how good the argument was. So essentially this question was a grammar-based question that we had to tackle. All right, now let's try the second question. The beans are dash burning. Like I said, guys, you can always pause the video for a minute, try it, and then check whether you got it right or wrong. So turned is basically a verb, and the blank is talking about how it was turned. So essentially what I need over here is an adverb. All right, because adverbs are words that modify a verb. So constant. Now constant is a noun. Constant can also be an adjective. For example, he's a constant presence in my life, or we need more constants to solve this question. So noun bhi hota hai, adjective bhi. Constants usually is a noun. Constantly is an adjective verb. For example, when I say he's constantly telling me not to do this particular thing. And constantly, of course, is not at all a word in English. So as we saw, I need an adverb over here. So I'll go for option number 3. The beans are constantly turned to avoid burning. Option number 3 becomes the right answer. All right. Now let's try the third question. He dashed to the problem of air pollution in his speech. So I've been given some options like averted, adverted, exclaimed, mentioned, etc. So let's take a look at their examples, at least a couple of, the meanings, at least a couple of words. To avert is to avoid. For example, he averted the mention of his wife during his speech, or he avoided the mention of his wife during his speech. What's an advertisement? A kind of reference to your product. So to advert something is to refer to it. To exclaim is to mention something in a very emotional manner. Hooray, we won the match. Or, oh, I feel so sorry for your loss. So that is exclaimed. And to mention is to say something. Now, can I say averted to the problem of air pollution? No. Then I have to say he averted the problem of air pollution. This two would not be needed. So one becomes wrong. He adverted to, or he referred to, the problem of air pollution. Yes, this seems to be correct. He exclaimed the problem of air pollution. Now, firstly, the two would not be needed. So 3 is wrong. And again, he mentioned the problem of air pollution. The 2 is not needed. So 4 is also wrong. Because for 1, 3, and 4, we don't need this 2. But the 2 is there. So they get eliminated. Option number 2. He adverted to the problem of air pollution in his speech. All right, guys, I hope this makes sense. All right. Now, question number 4. Rohan is so magnanimous that everyone is always dashed to help him in his project. Okay. Now, this seems to be a vocab based question because we have words. So it's more to do with vocabulary. What does the word magnanimous mean? It means being extremely kind, being extremely generous. For example, we can say something like, I don't know if you've heard of Hatim Tai, who was basically an Arabian Nights character who was very well known for his generosity. So Hatim Tai was a very magnanimous person. Or if I talk about Hindu mythology or art or Hindu folklore, King Vikramaditya was a very magnanimous king. Harishchandra was a very magnanimous king, so on and so forth. So Rohan is so magnanimous, or Rohan is so kind that everyone is always dashed to help him in his project. So what do these words mean? Being eager is strongly wanting to do something. For example, I'm very eager to watch today's movie. Enthusiastic, full of excitement. I'm very enthusiastic about watching the movie today. Reluctant, not wanting to do something. Oh, I'm very reluctant to do this. Can we do this later on? Ignorant, not knowing something. So I'm ignorant about how to fill this form. Can you help me? That's the meaning of ignorant. So here basically we need a positive word, because if Rohan is kind, everyone would want to help him, right? So I need a positive word, naki a negative word in this particular blank. So reluctant is out, ignorant is out. I'm left with eager and enthusiastic. Now, between these two, if someone is kind, would you want to strongly help the person, or would you be very excited? Excitement comes more with the personal involvement. When someone is kind, we very strongly want to help the person, but we may or may not be personally involved in it. So enthusiastic may not fit in this case. My answer would be option number 1. So Rohan is so magnanimous that everyone is always eager to help him in his project. All right, guys. Good. Now question number 5. Let's give this a try. Dash you work hard, you cannot succeed. So if you work hard, you cannot succeed. But if is more of cause effect. So if you work hard, you can succeed. Hona chahiye tha. Cannot would not be correct out here, right? If someone works hard, the person will succeed. So one gets eliminated. Till you work hard, you cannot succeed. Now tell us up till that particular time. So till you work hard, you cannot succeed. Now that would be wrong, because till you work hard, you will succeed. The moment you don't work hard, you will not succeed. So 2 is incorrect. Now what's the difference between unless and until? Unless means if not. So unless I study hard, I will not succeed. So the if condition, if it does not happen, then what happens? That would be the effect. Saying something like, if you help me, I will be able to do this. Unless you help me, I won't be able to do this. And until is up to the time. So until is very similar to till, basically. Both until and till are very similar to each other. So agar until galat, I'm extremely sorry. One sec. Yeah. If is out, till is out, and what I was basically saying was till and until are very similar to each other. So if till is wrong, until will also be wrong. Our answer will be unless. Unless you work hard, you cannot succeed. So unless being if not, if the cause doesn't happen, then what will happen? That's the effect. So unless you work hard, you cannot succeed. All right, guys. Okay. Now question number 6. Corruption is a standing hindrance dash the nation's development. Hindrance is a kind of obstacle or a kind of problem. So now some words in English are always used with certain preposition. For example, I say he's elder to but older than, something like that. So on similar lines, I am always a hindrance to somebody. Hindrance is always followed by the preposition to as a rule. So I have to go for option number 3. If I had problem, I could have gone for this is a problem of the nation's development, something like that. But when I say hindrance, it's a standing hindrance to the nation's development. So option number 3. All right. The preposition to will be used with the word hindrance. Question number 7. Neha's mother was annoyed with her as she could not dash her examination. So I've been given the verb get and I have some prepositions along with it. This is an example of what I call a phrasal verb, a verb combined with a preposition. So let's take a look at what each of these phrasal verbs mean. So get off is escape. For example, I got off with a very light punishment. So that would not work in this case. I'm not talking about escaping the exam. So one gets eliminated. To get on is to manage. So if Neha were able to get on with her exam, her mother would not be annoyed. She would be happy with her. So 2 gets eliminated. Get upon is to ride something. Like I got upon the horse. So that wouldn't work. You are not riding the exam or something. Now to get through, I'm sorry, yeah. To get through means to pass. So Neha's mother was annoyed with her as she could not get through or pass her exam. Yes, this makes sense. So option number 4 is our answer. Neha's mother was annoyed with her as she could not get through her exam or as she could not pass her exam. All right, guys. Okay, now question number 8. I shall dash her if she apologizes to me for a misbehavior. To apologize is to say sorry. So when someone tells you sorry, you forgive the person, right? So by that logic, option number 2 seems correct. To pardon the person is again in a way to forgive, but then with an apology, you don't pardon somebody. You pardon somebody when the person has done something wrong, has not done anything to correct it, and still you pardon the person. Like the president pardoned the criminals and waived off the capital punishment given to them. So in this case, because the person has apologized to me, there's no question of pardoning the person. Yes, I could possibly forgive the person. Punish is again wrong. Why should I punish somebody if the person apologizes to me? And what does reprimand mean? Reprimand is to scold. For example, my mother reprimanded me for coming late. But reprimand again doesn't work in this context. So option number 2, forgive, is my answer. I shall forgive her if she apologizes to me for her misbehavior. Now, 9th one. The fun dash reduced significantly when mom decided to tag along. So because mom came together, so the fun part came down. Can I say fun mark? No, there's no mark of fun. Fun sign? No. Fun quotient? Yes. What does fun quotient mean? The fun content. Like you see, the emotional quotient of this movie was a high one. Or this person has a very strong intelligence quotient. Does it have a very strong emotional quotient? Similarly, we say fun quotient. Fun quotient is fun content or how much fun we have had. Fun moment? No. So option number 3. The fun quotient reduced significantly when mom decided to tag along. Option number 3. All right. Now the 10th one. The shepherd guarded a large dash of sheep and allowed them to move from pasture to pasture. But guys, like I said, at any point of time, you can pause the video when we start the question, try solving it, and then play the video and see whether you got it right or wrong. So here I'm talking about a group of sheep. So I basically have to talk about what I call collective nouns. What's a collective noun? It's basically a group of nouns. So saying something like a flock, army of soldiers or a flock of birds, so on and so forth. So block we know. Can I say a block of sheep? No, I say a block of ice. Can even say a block of students, not a block of sheep. Culture is normally a collective noun that is used with fish. Okay, so no, sorry, not fish. I'm very sorry. Culture is normally used with silkworms, like pisciculture we say, right? So culture based context में नहीं आएगा. Shoal is used with fish. I can even say a school of fish. I can say a shoal of fish, a shoal of whales. Even that is allowed. But here I'm talking about sheep, so that doesn't work. And flock is basically a group of sheep. हम flock of birds भी बोल सकते हैं, flock of sheep भी बोल सकते हैं. So the shepherd guarded a large flock of sheep and allowed them to move from pasture to pasture. Option number 4. Shoal can be used both for fish as well as for whales. Flock is essentially used for sheep, for pigeons, for birds, etc. So flock of sheep. Option number 4. All right, guys, I hope this is making sense. Okay. 11th. The higher you climb, the more difficult it dash to breathe. Our options are like became, becomes, has become, is becoming. So again, this is tense based now. Now this whole sentence is in simple present. The higher you climb, the more dash difficult to breathe. So I need to basically find an answer that has become in the simple present form. So the higher you climb, the more difficult it became to breathe. But the problem with became is ideally in the past tense. I became the king of my country in the year something like that. So became being in the past tense, it becomes incorrect. Becomes is in present tense. So can I use it? Yes, simple present. Has become is present perfect. But I need simple present. So had become is wrong. Is becoming is present continuous. But again, I don't need present continuous. I need simple present. So ये भी मेरा गलत हो गया. Just 1 second. So my answer would be option number 2. All right. The higher you climb, the more difficult it becomes to breathe. Simple present. Okay. The higher you climb, the more difficult it becomes to breathe. Something like the more you read, the more you learn. It's just something on those lines. The simple present. Option number 2. All right, guys. Now the 12th one. Neha has been crying dash morning. So basically morning se leke ab tak she's crying. Now, can I use from? No, but from is generally used with the future. Saying something like, for example, I'll join my classes from Monday. So from is normally used when I talk about the future. So from cannot be used in this context. Can I use of morning? No, because of is used with possession. This is the handle of the knife. Now, can I say Nia has been crying since morning? Yes, because since is used from the past till now. saying something like, I have been attending classes since the last 1 year. So since seems to be okay. Till is till now. So it is in the present tense. But I have to say this thing had happened in the past, it is still going on. So till also becomes wrong. Neha has been crying, Neha has been crying since morning. Option number 3. The morning is in the past and till now, till this moment, it is happening. So Neha has been crying since morning. Option number 3. The 13th one, 14 kilometers dash not a short distance to reach my office daily. So here I'm talking about 14 kilometers as a singular entity, right? So basically, therefore, in the blank, I need a singular form of the verb, not the plural form. This is like saying 4,000 rupees is a large amount. I won't say 4,000 rupees are a large amount. I need a singular verb wala verb over here. So are gets eliminated, have gets eliminated. I'm left with has and is. But here I don't need has. I'm not talking about the perfect tense. So two also gets eliminated. I'm left with is. 14 kilometers is not a short distance to reach my office daily. Option number 4. All right, guys. 14th one. There are dash books on computer science in your school library, so you need to purchase them from the market. I have options like a few, a little, few, the few. Let's see what's the difference between these. Few means hardly any. It's used for countable nouns. So if I say there are few students present today, that means bahut kam hai. So basically, few has a negative connotation. Few is used when we talk about a very small number of people. Little is the same, but for uncountable nouns. So I have little patience, which means mera patience bahut hi kam hai. So little is again used in a negative way. As compared to this, a few means some. It's used in a positive way. There are a few students present today, means there are some students. A little is some for uncountable nouns. I have a little patience, which means I have some amount of patience. So if I need to purchase books from the market, that means that there are not many books, bahut kam books hain. So I basically need a negative word over here, and books are countable. That means a little is automatically eliminated. Negative hai to a few is also eliminated. The few is also eliminated. My answer is few. There are few books on computer science in your school library, so you need to purchase them from the market. Bahut kam books hain, so you need to purchase them from the market. All right, guys, I hope this is clear. 15th question. Don't loiter dash the corridor. What does loiter mean? Just hang around without doing any work. So like we just used, we say don't hang around the corner, right? Similarly with loiter, the word around is always used. Loiter is always succeeded by the preposition around. Don't loiter around the corridor. Don't loiter off the corridor, wrong. Off the corridor, wrong. At the corridor, wrong. So like I said, this is something like elder to, older than, avail of, by means of, so on and so forth. Some prepositions only come with some words. That's something we need to keep in mind. Don't loiter around the corridor. All right, guys. Like I said, guys, you can always pause the video for a minute, try the question and see whether you got it right or wrong. I will scold him when dash. When he will come, when he comes, when he would come, when he had come. Now, this first part, I will scold him, is in simple future. So this is the effect of what happens when the person comes. I will scold that person. So the cause has to happen in simple present for the effect to be felt in simple future. This is like saying, something like, for example, if I study, I will pass. So the cause is in simple present, the effect will be in simple future. So can I say he will come? No, because he will come is again in the future tense. So दोनों cause and effect future tense में नहीं हो सकते. The cause will be in present, the effect will be in future. When he comes, yes. It's like when I study, I will pass. I'll scold him when he comes because this is in present tense. When he would come. Now this is a possibility and this is in past. This can also be used in the future tense in terms of future possibility. So either way, because this is not in the present tense, I can eliminate it. When he had come is past perfect. So again, it is eliminated. So I'll scold him when he comes. I hope you're able to understand this, guys. So if you see, fill in the blanks asks you questions that are a combination of vocabulary as well as grammar. Both need to be used over here. Mother shall return dash an hour. Now, when I say in an hour, I can say after an hour, I can say during an hour. No, because during is the duration. For example, I was making notes during the class. So during would not be correct. Within an hour, possibly yes. Hour ke pehle. Now, which one should I use then? Now, when I say mother shall return in an hour, that means exactly at the end of the hour, she will return. But then there should be something else also. Mother shall return in an hour, so you can wait or something like that. That has not been given to us. So option number 1 gets eliminated. In an hour bolna galat ho jayega. After an hour again needs some kind of effect along with it. So it also gets eliminated. Within an hour, yes. Before the hour gets over, mother is going to return. So mother shall return in an hour. Option number, sorry, mother shall return within an hour. So before the hour gets over, she shall return. Option number 4. In and after were incorrect because I don't have further information. So given the lack of information, I'll choose within. All right, guys. Now let's try the 18th question. My father did not approve dash the plan of traveling to Uttarakhand because of the bad weather there. Now, approve is agree. So again, as a rule, the word approve is always followed by the preposition of. I do not approve of something. I disapprove of something. Disapprove is not agree with. So dono approve and disapprove. Both these words are followed by the preposition of. So option number 1. My father did not approve of the plan of traveling to Uttarakhand. I settled dash Canada last year. Now, can I say off Canada? No, because that means I'm leaving Canada. Then I can't use the word settled. On Canada? No, I can sit on a chair. I can keep this on the table. So on is used when the surface of the thing is being specified. But here Canada's surface is not being specified. I'm left with in, I'm left with at. Now, in is normally used with a place, a bigger place. At is used with the exact location out there. For example, I can say something like, I live at CBD Belapur in Mumbai, for example, if I say something like that. Or I live at Chandni Chowk in New Delhi, something like that. So here is Canada location or a place. Canada is a place. You could be living at a smaller location in Canada, but the smaller location has not been given to us. So add gets eliminated. My answer is option number 2, in. I settled in Canada last year. All right, guys. 20. The employee did not dash to the argument of the manager. Turning something did not agree or something like that. Precede, exceed, concede, recede. The root word seed means to move. So pre is before, like pre-visualization, something like that. So to proceed is to come before something. To exceed, as we know, is to increase or go beyond. For example, I've exceeded the time duration given to me. To recede is to come back. And to concede is to admit that something is true. All right. So to precede is to come before. To recede is to come back. To exceed is to increase more than the number or the quantity. and to concede is to admit that something is true. So employee did not dash to the argument of the manager, means he did not agree that the argument was right. So given that, I have to go for concede. I have to say that the employee did not agree that the argument was a correct one. The employee did not concede to the argument of the manager. Option number 3. I hope this is making sense, guys. Okay. Like we discussed, guys, you can pause the video, try the question, and then give it a try. Why am I saying this again and again? Some of you may feel that why is repeating the same line. I'm doing it in the event if someone joined us a bit late, did not hear me initially. That's why I'm just repeating it again and again. Rituals play into the dashed understandings of a society. So rituals basically are like puja part ka rituals vagera. Each religion has its own rituals. So rituals are basically very deep rooted in any society, right? Based on the religion and culture that the society follows. So he's given us various forms of the word tact or tacit. What does tactfully mean? Speaking or acting carefully. For example, when I was confronted by my employee, I handled the situation very carefully or tactfully. Tacit is unspoken, understood, or implied. For example, my move has the tacit approval of my manager. Being taciturn is not speaking much. So if you ask someone, did you have food? The person answers, Are you going to home in some time? Are you leaving for home in some time? Such a person is said to be a taciturn person. And tacitly is the adverb form of tacit. Now, basically, what do I need here? I need an adjective. So which one can I go for? I can go for tacit, which will play into the implied or the understood understandings of a society. Which will play into the tacit understandings of a society. Basically, understandings that are not mentioned openly, but which are an integral part or an unspoken part of the society. So option number 2, tacit. All right, bit difficult, but if you know the meanings of the words, it's easy to figure it out. Repetition bred a sense of dash with the characters. Now, when you repeat a character something again and again, you become familiar with the characters. Familiarity, okay, that's the noun form. Familiar would be the adjective form. Familiarly would be the adverb form. And familiarize would be the verb form. So if we see, we have these different, again, this is something similar to what we have seen previously also, different forms of the same word. So what do I need when I say a sense of? I need the noun form. So option number 1. Repetition bred a sense of familiarity with the characters. All right. Good reading dashed the sense of the liberal educated mind. Now, a liberal educated mind is one that accepts people, different kinds of people, accepts different kind of beliefs. So good reading will somewhere reflect it, or good reading will somewhere help it. So can I say beliefs? No, because beliefs is a noun. I need a verb over here. Can I say leads? Possibly yes, but then I have to say good reading leads to the sense of the liberal educated mind. Leads the sense nahi bol sakte. Reflects the sense, yes. Starts the sense, no. It's not start or stop over here. So option number 3. Good reading reflects the sense of a liberal educated mind. It shows that your mind is liberal and educated. He could excel in his board exams only after dash very hard. Continuing very hard, no, I have to say working very hard. Functioning very hard, but functioning is used in a sense of companies. For example, I function very hard on a daily basis. Learning very hard, possibly, yes. Toiling very hard is like working very hard. So between these two, which one is better? Toiling, because you not just learn for an exam, you also practice for it, right? Exams don't involve only learning, they can also involve practice. So between learning and toiling, toiling is a better word. So you could exceed in his board exams only after toiling very hard. He dashes camera on the table. Now I have options like laid, lane, lay, and lie, which are very confusing options. So let's see. The subject and object are the same. So you're talking about lying down yourself. आप खुद लेट रहे हो. The subject and the object are the same. Lie is in the present tense and lay is in the past tense. So I lie down on my bed by 10 p.m. daily. Present tense. I lay on my bed at 10 p.m. last time. Past tense. When subject and object are different, so I'm making someone else lie down or something like that. Lay is in the present tense. I lay my son on his bed by 10 p.m. daily. I laid my son on his bed around 10 p.m. last night. So lie, lay, and laid. Lie and lay are used when the subject is acting upon himself. Lay and laid are used when the subject is acting upon some other object. So here the person is putting his camera on the table. So I'll have to use what? I have to basically say that something else is being kept. So मुझे यहाँ पे, as they are different, I have to go for either lay or I have to go for laid because the subject and the object are different in this case. So I go for either lay or I go for laid. So 1 and 3 में से हो सकता है. Lane is eliminated, lie is eliminated. Now when I say lay, which is in the present tense, I have to say every day, daily, right? He lays camera on the table daily. So it's a daily thing that he is doing, but that's not mentioned here, which means this thing has happened in the past. So I have to go for laid. He laid his camera on the table. Option number 1. Is this clear, guys, how we worked it out? Okay. Now question number 26, God is dash. What does imminent mean? Present everywhere. What does mortal mean? Someone who can die. Like we are all mortals, but God is immortal. Imminent, almost certain to happen. For example, death is imminent. All of us are going to die. Deference, showing respect. So God definitely cannot die. So 2 goes. Is God certain to happen? No, God is already there. Death is certain to happen. So imminent doesn't work in this context. God doesn't show respect. We show respect to God. So 4 goes away. But is God imminent or present everywhere? Yes. So option number 1. God is imminent or God is present everywhere. Dash the rain stopped, the concert had to be suspended. Now we spoke about this earlier. Until, unless. Until talks about the point of time. That till this time what is happening. So option number 1. Until the rain stopped, the concert had to be suspended. So unless is wrong, till is wrong, and while is wrong. Until the rain stopped, the concert had to be suspended. All right. The elephant stampeded and tore dash the streets. Tore on is basically running fast, but वो stampeded में already cover हो गया है, so 1 gets eliminated. Tore out is literally tearing out pages. That's not happening over here. Tore off again is literally tearing off. Tore down the streets, which means he smashed everything that he could see around. The elephant stampeded and tore down the streets. Option number 4. Tore down is literally crushing everything. Keith has dashed with a failure in his English examination thrice. Caught with a failure, no, you can't catch failure. Gone with a failure, no, you can't go with failure. Got a failure बोल सकते हैं, got with a failure नहीं. Met with failure, yes. You can meet with success, you can meet with failure. So option number 4. Keith has met with a failure in his English examination thrice. All right. And lastly, question number 30. Only when dash failed, the army resorted to force. Only when efforts failed, but what kind of efforts, right? Possibly talk about persuading efforts. So this may or may not be. Arrests failed, no. Persuasions failed, yes. Manipulations, but it's a negative word, right? For example, persuasion means to convince somebody. Manipulation is to control someone to your advantage. I need a positive word here. So manipulation does not work. Efforts and persuasion में कौन सा better होगा? Persuasion. Because first you try to persuade them that you are right, then you have to resort to force. So persuasions. Only when persuasions failed, the army resorted to force. Alright guys, with this I come to an end to this session. I hope you were able to follow whatever we did. We did a combination of fill in the blanks based on vocabulary, grammar, etc. So I hope you're able to use it for your preparation as well. Thank you so much everyone, and all the best for your exams.